Neither one of you guys were going to make that corner.
Give yourself a better opportunity in turn one versus just going in like bowling ball. You have to allow tires to get. Practice? Practice. So when you first get a car, we have a driver involved. Day one, okay, it's time to start shaking this thing down. Here we go. Here's the track. The Mercedes car, first time that we have David, he knows the motor configuration. So for example, so for example, when we did the M3 car, we had lost David. We had we had one David from the starter. So that was pretty much the tracker that it does in the M3 car. So yeah, kind of tell us about how you got involved in iRacing in general.
Well, I keep our boys busy like I hope it does. I've been in software since a long time. Just a couple years ago, I went into gaming software, educational software, now I'm in the sim racing business. But yeah, I think I had my eyes open and I'd like to get back in the software space and do something new. Well, there's a company called iRacing that's looking for a CFO.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Good evening and welcome to Richmond Raceway, the site of tonight's Steel Graphics and Design Series, race number 8 on Speed Racing Network. Your president, Jonathan Byer, with you here this evening to bring you all of the racing action here from the virtual Richmond Raceway. Well, the drivers just qualified. Here's your starting lineup. Kyle Johnson takes the pole, running a 22.007, followed by teammate Bo Brady. Daniel Bodler will roll off third, Robert Richardson fourth, Max Service fifth, Dan Park sixth, Lane Doyle seventh, Troy Techmeyer eighth, Joe Ruggles Jr. ninth, and David Davis shotgun on the field in 10th. Well, tonight's action, we had 175 laps on tap for you. It is the first night race of the Steel Graphics and Designs series, featuring the NASCAR, or formerly known as the NASCAR Xfinity Series cars. Next year there'll be the NASCAR O'Reilly's series. A little bit of change in the series namesake. Here on iRacing, we'll just refer to them as the B cars, so everybody will know exactly what we're talking about. Weather is a nice, cool 68 degrees with a slight northeast wind at 7 miles an hour. Partly cloudy conditions, but we'll fall into the nighttime here pretty fast. Humidity at 95%, though. Bit of a humid one. Well, everybody's getting ready and rolling away. We'll run 2 quick pace laps and then we'll get everything underway. Like we said, Kyle Johnson, your pole sitter. A Team Apache front row with Kyle Johnson, Bo Brady. Last week's winner, Dan Park, brought it home at Pocono. You can watch that race back here on the Speed Racing YouTube channel if you're available for replay. Getting down to it, this is the second to last race of the regular season. We'll have a 10 race chase after that. Not 10 race, 10 driver chase rather. That spans the last 3 races of the season after that. The rest of that schedule and how it plays out, we'll go to Rockingham for the cutoff next week. And then we have Charlotte, Dover, and Homestead to finish out the season. Should be something to watch, and that will be the end of the fall season of Season 8 here at Speed Racing. Well, lights are off on the pace car. Field of 10 is doubled up. This will leave the field in the hands of Kyle Johnson, and Team Apache will bring us to the green. 175 laps from Richmond tonight. Starts right now. Johnson cleared to the lead. He will lead lap 1 over teammate Bo Brady. The battle's behind him. Robert Richardson, Daniel Bodler doing battle for position number 3. Bodler in the 6th. Somebody else on the racetrack. Good run so far by the 5 of Robert Richardson. We saw him maybe had an outside chance of winning last week, and unfortunately got caught up in some shuffling late in the race. Ended up getting some main damage to the 5 the event, but was able to run up front very late last week. Meeting up here up front between teammates, the 88 and the 8. You know, early, how nice the teammates play early. Just that volume a little bit, so it makes it a little bit better. The engine noise in the background. Just a field of 10 here tonight, but a good 10. Battle a little further back here. Dan Park last week winner in the 7. Doing battle with Lane Doyle in the 47. You see some teammate on teammate action here. Troy Techminer now in the 32. He's getting his hat in the ring. So far, so good. Everybody kind of minding their P's and Q's. Max Service now doing battle with Lane. The guys who are really making that outside lane or that second lane roll are doing quite well. 47 now past a couple vehicles. Now he's way up there. Making it work. Battle back here still. Dan Park, David Davis, Roy Techliner. Looks like they're going to somewhat get this sorted out. So we'll swing back up front. Tight here with the top 3. Typical Richmond racing here, just wrapping that yellow line, being nice and easy down the throttle on exit, not trying to burn the rear tires off it early, keeps it grip, get it to turn the center, which is easy to do on fresh tires early in the run, but as this run goes on, you're going to see those guys a little bit better about saving a little something in those Goodyear rubbers, make their way through the field late, or just win the Pine Delta battle as the run continues. 3 sets of tires in the pits tonight for everybody. Could be plenty to get us to 175 laps. Might be able to run a 2-stop strategy tonight. Credit the thirds. Yeah. Good way to go if we have a somewhat of a green flag affair. But last week, if you remember, we were tracking in that direction. Lots of green flag racing in the first half of that race. We saw a 1-stop strategy develop, a 2-stop strategy develop, and then all of a sudden none of it mattered. And we just went for a wild ending last week. Broken up. Lane Doyle in that 47, he's up 2 spots from where he started, up to P5. And we've kind of just seen him kind of use that upper groove to work his way around. Now you see the 6 joining him in that effort. Trying to get to the outside of the 5. They cross him over here, getting into turn 1. Nice move there by Mr. Daniel Bodler in the 6 car. Here's the third down back from Robert Richardson. So use that upper groove not to complete the pass, but got all that momentum coming off corner exit and was able to complete the crossover. Good short track move there. Wadler up another spot here, gets past Bo Brady in the 8. Bo slides right in front of the 5. Makes the 5, cuts him a little break right there, getting into turn 1. And lives to fight on another day. So here goes the 6. Group right here in the middle of the field. Still where the battles are. 47's trying to find a way around the 5 of Robert Richardson. Max Service now make an appearance. And here comes last week's winner. You see him in the back of the number 7, the red, white, and blue. Dan Park. Sporting the red, white, and blue colors today on Veterans Day. Very nice touch. Typical Steel Graphics and Designs Park Brothers Racing colors that we see him in. Same vehicle that we saw him go to victory lane in last week. Lap time note here. Last time by, our leader ran a 22.809. That was matched exactly by second place Daniel Bodler. And after that, just a lot of 22 high 8s all the way back to 22.9 and very back to the field. So the whole field's still pretty tight on lap time. From front to back. We're seeing the field stay pretty well tight. The top 9 still within 3.5 seconds of each other as we work lap 21 here of 175. Long race tonight, a night race. First one of the season. A little bit of a different variety. We have a couple night races coming up in the later half of this schedule. Homestead and Charlotte being those. Up front, Kyle Johnson still doing his thing. Started on pole, hasn't relinquished the lead yet. But Daniel Bodler just inching closer there in position number 2. Just gaining about quarter or 10th of a second a lap, so it's very slow progress, but it is progress. Right, 47 still trying to find a way around Robert Richardson. Highline pretty religiously so far in this one. We've used that quite a bit. Doesn't go for the crossover there, getting into 1. Instead keeps to sticking to what he's using best, that high side. He might have a good angle. Oh! 5 tries to clear, it was not clear. 47 clipped him a little bit, but both avoid substantial damage. That could have been potentially our first caution of the day, but both of them pitch a little bit of a break there. And we've been seeing that. Lane's been just rolling that outside, gets to his quarter, and I mean, Lane might just have had a touch of a nose in there, but position's position, so. What if I pinches him hard to the bottom? These two racing like it's lap 170 on lap 27. gets a little bit of the outside wall there off of 2. This battle's just been so good, we just haven't looked away. Back to the inside here. If you can't get it done this time by. It's hard when you're on the bottom, you really can't get that drive off. Getting a good position here, getting to 3. Might try to slide up in front of the 5. Can't do just that. Lane finally gets it done. 3 positions from where he started, now in position number 4. Back up front, lead's tightened up a little bit. Last time we were here is about 3/10 of a second, so it's cut down almost in half. They're really aggressive on entry. The 88 pulls a little bit in the middle and off the corner. But these two now have broken away the rest of the pack. Like we're gonna have a battle for the lead here sooner rather than later. Oh, they're really challenging on corner entry. This is gonna be really aggressive on the brakes. We saw the 5. He slipped way up right there on the ticker. We thought he was in big trouble, but might have been an internet issue. But he now getting passed by Max Service, so that'll. 80 went up to 5th and slide the 5 back to 6th position, and man, they are nose to tail here up front. Kyle Johnson has been in control all night so far. Started on the point, has now led the first 35, but Daniel Bodler's going to change that trend here rather shortly. He's just pestering the driver of the 88. Go, dives to the inside in turn 1. First side-by-side for the lead action we've seen. It's tough to complete that pass on the bottom, though, like we talked about. Just can't carry that momentum off. Slide out of the turn for Bodler, but ends up giving him great position on the inside of the 88. He doesn't quite have him cleared, though. Great job rolling the middle there by Kyle, able to keep his momentum up in the center, but 6 is going to have position here, getting into 3. Can the 6 pull the slider? Not quite. However, that's a lap led now for Bodler, so the first lap the 88 hasn't led tonight. Comes on lap 40. Oh, a little door contact there, maybe. Got a slower car on the bottom. That's Joe Ruggles. Looks like he's going to come to pit road here. These two now, they're pestering each other nose to tail. Now they're going to pester each other side to side. Sideways there in the middle for the 6. So you want to keep it off the 88. Tight there as well. And back to where we started. It's super hard to create a pass here when you're running similar speeds. I do think the 6 might be a touch better, but you've got to be more than a touch better to pass here at Richmond. Just a tougher place to pass. And on same tire trim as who's in front of you. I'm not going to let this go. He's driving all you can. See him wiggling a little bit off the corner there. He's under control. Joe Ruggles, we saw him there on the bottom. He came to pit road. He was our first pit stops to go tonight. While we've been watching these guys, just behind them, we've got a kind of a three-way battle here developed between Bo Brady, Max Service, and Lane Doyle. You'll notice that missing now out of this equation is the 5. He has slid all the way back here to 7th place behind Dan Park. And so you have to feel like maybe used up a little bit too much tire early. He's reeling now. Falling back through the field. We kind of look at lap times right now. Leaders are running 23.15s to 23.20s. Robert Richardson running 23.35s. So just over a tenth kind of what the leaders are pacing. The fastest car on the racetrack outside of the leader last time by was the 89 Surge. And Max making a little bit of a surge here later in the run. Hey, somebody who usually comes alive as the run goes on. Started in 5th place, is currently up just 1 position. But is running some very quick lap times right now. So if we can get by this 8 car here, that might give us a peek at maybe a battle up front to happen a little later on. It's going to be interesting to see what these guys do strategy-wise. There's a couple different options available too. You could split this race into thirds. That kind of makes the most sense when you're just talking about tire wear. You can stretch it a little bit longer too. Unsure if you could really make the one-stop fuel. It would, I believe, it'd be just a little too close for comfort. But what we know about these guys that race in SRN, they're okay with that. They will stretch strategies all the way to the end. So something's a little too close for comfort. We're probably going to see it attempted in this field somewhere. Max Service with a dive in here on Bill Brady. Contact there coming off 4. 81's going to have good position here getting into 1. And Max Service now up to position number 3. Well, maybe not. Gets a little bit of bumper there from the 8. Maybe just he didn't appreciate that little door I got there. But I think the 81 is a little bit better car. He's going to start to drive there. Up front, that lead is kind of expanded out since we were last here. Good battle there between the 88 and 6 for multiple laps. I think it's cost the 6 a little bit of tire. And he's falling back about half a second now. Off Kyle Johnson. So Kyle's led basically every lap. Adler got up there when they were battling and led a couple, but a total of 51 officially led for the 88. Alright, well, we're going to run you through the field real quick while we can. Kyle Johnson currently out front in the 88. Just behind him, Daniel Bodler in the 6. Up a position from where he started. Max Service is up to 3rd. He's up 2 from where he started. They're currently running the fastest lap times on the racetrack, so watch out for that 81. O'Brady in 4th. He's down 2 from where he started. Started on the front row with his teammate. Lane Doyle, currently 5th. He's up from 7th. Just behind Lane is last week's winner, Dan Park, who runs where he started. Just running nice, clean lap times. Behind Mr. Dan Park, Robert Richardson, who we saw kind of up in the front mix early, has slid all the way back to the 7th position, down 3 from where he started. Troy Techmeyer is in 8th. That's exactly where he rolled off tonight in the Nebraska Cornhuskers 32. David Davis is up a spot from where he started. Started shotgun on the field, now in 9th place. Joe Ruggles is currently back in the pit lane. We saw him pit on lap 40. Looks like he's back on pit lane now, and something may have happened to the 90s. Look. Ooh! It's sideways off the corner and just taps the inside wall. He actually towed from there to where he sits on the pit lane now, so we missed that earlier. But no caution for that incident. Single car, kind of half spin, just nosed it onto the inside wall. We'll currently sit on the pit lane right now. He's shown at least 7 laps down. Oh, Kyle Johnson's still up front. We saw just behind him, Bodler got a little piece of the fence coming off to there. So if you're going to run the 3-stop strategy, I mean the 2-stop strategy rather, we're kind of getting close to when that would be a good time to think about it. And speaking of that, here's the first taker. Robert Richardson is on pit road. So the 5, I would believe, is on that 2-stop strategy. He's the first of the drivers to come down pit road and take advantage of that. He'll get 4 tires, fill that thing up with Sunoco race fuel, and get right back out there. I think if anybody else is going to play this strategy, you're going to see him on pit road here with the next couple laps. You see Joe Ruggles. Now he's going to come off the pit lane as well. Keep an eye on the leaders here, see what he chooses to do. I believe what the 88 does will dictate a lot of what the guys behind him choose to do. You're running a little further back, maybe Dan Park, Troy Techmeyer, David Davis. Maybe take a page out of a different playbook and see if you can't do something a little different to get yourself some track position or to get back up near the front. The 5, the only driver that's come down pit lane for a regular scheduled stop. Besides Joe Ruggles down for like some repaired damage. He has rejoined the racing surface now, 19 laps in arrears, but nonetheless making circuits. There's a bonus point for actually finishing the race, so every point does matter. A little bit of reason to stay in it. Really like the attitude. We're watching this 88 of Kyle Johnson. Going around Richmond Raceway here, just like the attitude of that car, just nice and smooth on entry, wraps that yellow line really well. Doesn't look too upset coming off the corners. It's kind of just what you want to see, nice and smooth rhythm. Rhythm's an important part of this racetrack. And getting a really good rhythm and clicking off really good laps, it's gonna really help you out. The 6 here, see if we see the same attitude. See a little bit more yawing on corner entry, a little more sliding around. Pretty good through the center. A little wiggle off the corner, but yeah, he's doing a little bit of chasing, so he's having to drive a little bit harder. That car looks pretty solid as well. And this has been one of the fastest cars on the racetrack right here, Max Service. Continues to run down the front too. Looks pretty rock solid as well. I really like how low he is in the corners. He's a little bit closer to that yellow line. I think that's advantageous. Helping him out. He currently sits just about 2.5 seconds back of Kyle. Johnson's the lead. For the drivers that'll be participating in the one-stop strategy, probably in the next 15 or so laps, we'll see them come down the pit lane. 15 to 20 is going to be about that window. We noted that the 5 came down pit road, right? And obviously you lose a lap by doing so. You see now he's kind of going through the back of the field. For reference, you can see the track map in the right-hand side of the screen. 5 is that green dot that's coming around the corner. And the leader is the 88, who's just now into turn number 3. So you can see how he's a lap in arrears, but not quite, even in the conversation of unlapping himself. Now, if you want to talk lap times, the last time by, it was a 23:23 for the leader. Kyle Johnson and a 22:78 for Robert Richardson. So an easy half second faster. And on a 3/4 of a mile racetrack, it makes a difference, but I think that difference might be great enough to help him overcome having to make a whole nother pit stop, because you basically go just about 2 laps down. So yeah, he might need a little more help to make this strategy work, but hey, we'll keep an eye on it. You never know. Back up front, all eyes on Kyle Johnson. You see the first hint of any lap traffic. The shorter field taken about, it'll take about 80 laps for him to catch the rear of the field. That's going to be David Davis in the 11th. Then he's still got a long way to go to get to the next one of Troy Techmeyer, 7th place. Only running 14 seconds off of the lead. About 23.5 second lap times as we get late in the run. Still quite a bit in front. Just to be careful allowing lap traffic and not make any mistakes. Because he's really built this lead up now. Max Service. That blink right there. Saw him go flying through the leaderboard, but in the background there we saw him rejoin the surface. He's starting to catch Daniel Bodler here. And it's not that Max has really gained on the front too, it's just that the 6 has kind of started to fall back a little bit. Max is not running any closer to the 88 than he was earlier, but Daniel Bodler has definitely lost a little bit of pace and sideways off the corner. I don't think that car's handling the way he would like it to at this point in the run. And, well, honestly, I don't think on 78 laps into a run any car is handling best. Battle here for second. David Davis has officially gone a lap down, so get a yellow flag. He'd be the recipient of the lucky dog. Get his lap back. Close to that pit window. Within the next 10 laps, we should start to see those pit stops take place. Good battle here. Got another good one back here. Bo Brady, Dan Park. Oh, and Lane Doyle all sideways. Oh, we're kind of battling out back here. Just backside the top 5. Oh, and Dan shoves the nose in there. Not sure he really had the space, but he kind of made the space. Back into this group, we saw him charging forward early. Man, that second car sideways there. Out of turn number 4. We're trying to make space where there might not be enough. Be careful with the teammate there as well. Whoa, low contact. This three-way battle here for 4th is most exciting thing on the racetrack. 81 has gotten by the 6. We lost that battle a little bit ago. And here comes the 8. Brady will come to pit road. He's the first of the split strategy. Should be pretty close to cutting the race in half. That'll make sense. Only taker this time by. Tough to see in the pit box here. He's got it down to pit stall number 2. Tough pit road here. Curvature in the pit lane. It's easy to speed here, so you got to do a good job of making sure you're paying attention to how fast you're going. Make sure you get it woed down before entry. It can be kind of a tough pit road to get on as well. Kind of take your time, not be too aggressive. You can't necessarily lose a race by being too conservative on pit road, but you can throw a race away by speeding or getting into the pit lane wall. You see that little orange box down there? That's the commitment cone. Well, they used to put a cone, but it's a commitment box now. And you have to be all the way below that line at pit road speed. Just beyond that, where the blue cone you can't see, but it's kind of tucked behind the wall. You might be able to see it behind the line. No, it's right behind those barrels there. You got to beat a pit road speed by then, but there's the end of the line there, so kind of a tight angle. And here's the leader. Kyle Johnson gets it woed up. Come down the pit lane. Looks like he will be the only driver to do so this time by. So it looks like they're just coming one at a time here. We've not seen a group of cars come at once. You have to think the longer you run this out, you'll have a little fresher tires at the end, but you just give up pace that every time. Somebody who pitted before you is out on the racetrack. Lane Doyle now. He's a taker. Still trending the 1 a lap kind of deal. Well, we're going to change that right now. Troy Techmeyer is going to join him. You see how slow you have to crawl on this pit lane. Next service now. A little rear end damage on that 81. Gonna bring it down. Such a slow pace you have to carry all the way around this pit lane. Just careful not to speed. So far, we've had no pit road penalties or pit road incidents. It's been clean for those that have come and got some service. In the bobbler and Dan Park are the two that have not yet come down pit road. Once they do, that'll complete the cycle. But David Davis, he has not pitted yet either, but he was already a lap down on the racetrack. So we'll see how long the 6 chooses to stay out here. This will be kind of something interesting to watch. Right behind him, there's the 5. Remember, the 5 was the first car down pit road, all the way back on lap 59. So kind of that split the thirds idea that Robert Richardson has, and well, as you see, he's running in front of the rest of the guys that already have pitted, but letting him back down. Oh, in trouble for Lane Doyle. He has gotten in the inside wall. Looks like no caution. He kept it off the wall, actually. Too far. Let's see what happened here to the 47. Oh, wow. Just loose on the entry. Drifts it all the way around the corner. And harmlessly brings it to the apron. So all good. It's been much worse for the 47 and the field, but we stay green. And here's the 5 of Robert Richardson. He's going to unlap himself likely here pretty shortly, which is massive if we do have a caution, because he would be able to jump all that track position, come and get service, not have to start at the tail of the field, and being the lucky dog recipient. But to the right of the 6 to not necessarily make it easy on him. How long he chooses to go. Dan Park, similarly, staying out as well. There's the 7. Running just over 3 seconds off the leader currently, and Daniel's got him stacked behind him. You see just beyond that shot, there's the 88. We'll just see how quickly the 6 will lose spots here to those fresh tires. Last time Barbara ran a 23.50, Kyle Johnson at 22.55. So second of a lap difference in tires right now. Bother will still be the leader, but the real race for the leads up here. Kyle Johnson, 88, Bo Brady in the 8. Kyle's trying to find a way around the 5. He's somehow going to be able to do it. Maybe not necessarily safely, but the 5's going to give him some extra room now. I think that's probably a good idea. They can follow him through. Oh, Troy! Troy Techmeyer finds the inside wall, and that'll bring the caution out. Just as Daniel Bodler came to pit lane. Oh boy. Maybe 2 will get it back gathered. Doesn't look like he's going to be too bad off. Oh man, what a situation developed here. Well, this works out for the 7. Mr. Dan Park, he still out there. So he has not pitted, so he'll have the lead. And we'll have the freshest tires after the pit stop. And I think the 6 was in okay shape here as we cycle. I'll let timing and scoring work itself out before we reset it, but Mr. Dan Park throwing the long game once again, and it's going to work out for him at least right now. And those guys that did come down pit road, they're going to go ahead and come back. They didn't have a lot of laps on the tires, but we know they fall off pretty good, so good chance if you pit now, you're good for the rest of the race, and you know, fresher tires now, that might help you. Well, let's go back and take a look. Troy Techmeyer was the reason for this yellow. He just got loose off 2 and gets the inside wall pretty good there. And because he's still got a tire there on the racing surface sitting backwards, that was what triggered the caution. iRacing. And yeah, I guess loose off the corner. Cold tires, remember he just came off the pit road. That's really easy to do. Fortunate set of circumstances here for Mr. Techmeyer, SRN veteran. Runs every week. Had some good runs this year, actually. Kind of impressed at times. Tonight, maybe not going the way he wished. Well, Dan Park assumes the lead and the fresh tires. Kyle Johnson, he came back down the pit lane. He'll be in second. So Brady will be just behind him. Third. David Davis is up here as well in the mix. Just off cycle. The 5 kind of helped him out a little bit. Remember, he was trying to play the 2-stop strategy in all likelihood was what the play was for him, but he came back down here, so now he's back on the sequence with the 11 did come down pit road. Get out of the cycle. Then we got Max Service, then Daniel Bodler and Lane Doyle. They will take the wave around as they just pitted recently. We're trapped a lap down, so they get back on the lap, which will put everybody except for Joe Ruggles and Troy Techmeyer on the lead lap. They'll rejoin the back of the field. But now the race is in the hands of Dan Park, last week's winner. The pace car for the second time tonight will now head back to the safety of the pit lane. Daniel Podler's got the field. We're back to Richmond. Kind of a wild first lap to this restart. Great restart for the 7. Trouble for the 88. We saw him get the wall there off of turn 2. Gets it gathered back up. Almost gets a little bit of bump from the 81, but they get it all sorted out. David Davis still remains on the pit lane. Okay, so the battle's up front. The 7 and 8. No Brady, Dan Park. That 8 looks quick. Up front all evening. That 8 rolls the outside really nice there in 1 and 2. We gave him good position down here in the 3. A little bit of door action there. Trouble for Joe Ruggles. He is he's got it backwards on the backstretch. No caution. All right, well, I guess not. Well, his teammate, the 8 now, will take a lead officially. Robert Richardson, Kyle Service, Kyle Johnson, Max Service. Now all just jumbled up right here behind him. This is tight. The 11 down the bottom. He's come off the down. 4 laps down. So these guys starting to drive just a little bit harder. The tails of these vehicles starting to wander on corner exit a little bit. Physicality here between 5 and 88. He's watching it. The door paint being traded. The 88's eager to get himself back up to the front where he so belongs, as we've seen tonight. But a little unfortunate way the caution kind of fell in the pit cycle for him, so he's having to do a little dirty work now to get back up there, and then just a restart that didn't really go his way either. He is now set clear in 3rd place, and he set his sights on the front 2. Speaking of the front 2, they're back in lockstep. Park's not letting this go quietly. And Dan Park finally an SRN winner last week. Can't believe that's the first time he's done that. The racing with us for many seasons. But you have to think that maybe one just busts open the lid. He's going to rattle off a couple of them here. Definitely some tracks as we get down the stretch on the schedule here. That very good chance he could rack up another one or two. Maybe more than that. You never know. He is driving that thing all it's got sideways on the straightaway. Well, we're going to take this moment. We're going to leave you with the sights and sounds of the virtual Richmond Raceway for a few minutes. We'll be right back with you. with you here from Richmond. 30 laps remaining in this event. You've seen it all behind you in the screen. Dan Park back up front. Now just an absolute gaggle of cars here for second. We got Brady, Daniel Butler, Max Service getting physical, trying to decide who's going to take away the second place. How refreshing it is sometimes just to sit back and listen to the sound of these cars along the racetrack like Richmond. Evokes so much rhythm, so much finesse, being able to work that throttle. Something satisfying about the sound of just sitting back and listening to that, so we hope you enjoyed that as well. But Dan Park, like we said, maybe just winning one SRN race would take the lid off. He's starting to open up almost a 3/4 second lead now in this group of three that just will not leave each other alone at all. Further back, Kyle Johnson, who, man, we thought that this was going to be his race for a long time. Dominant up front at the beginning, pit stop, cycle shuffling back a little bit. He just has not been able to get back up there. Richardson in the off strategy earlier, kind of the same story. And Lane Doyle, who, man, it's just been kind of a struggle for the 47 today. But up 5 spots from where he started, Mr. Dan Park currently holds the lead. We'll check back in on this group of 3 here. They can't decide who wants what spot. Keeps getting physical. Oh, in the 6! Adler gets it up into the outside wall. No caution as he's able to keep it pointed the right direction. And he tried to get in there, and after the back bumper, the 8, and it ended up costing him. Only doesn't lose a spot to the 81, but slide back now in the clutches, the 88 and 5, likely. Just what Dan Park wanted to see in this mirror is these guys getting physical. Battling it out. It's helped him open up a lead that's over a second. And now you got the 5 and 88 leaning on each other, still leaning on each other. Down the middle of the back straightaway. That's interesting, and they're still leaning on each other. Something tells me that this battle's not done yet. Maybe it is for this very moment. We'll check in. Yeah. That's 7. He's doing all the right things at the right time. Last time by, we're at 23-23. We're 23-32 behind him in the 8. Now the 8's under some heat. The 81. Told you this one wasn't done yet. I have a feeling it's still not done. Oh boy. It's getting physical for 5th place. Between the 5 of Robert Richardson and the 88 of Kyle Johnson. The 88. All sideways. Oh no! Yellow's out. And the 5, he ended up being the one that took the fall for that just absolute heat of a battle. And oh, watch out, Troy! Ooh. That could have been bad. Well, the 5 will stay on the lead lap. As you see right behind him, the rest of the field now edging the pace car, but well, we knew that was inevitable, right? We sat here and watched it for quite some time. Let's go back and take a look. That's coming off the corner, the 88 just gets on the track and boom, kind of finishes him off. I mean, I don't really know if there's a better way of putting that. Take another look at it here. Yeah, just kind of. I mean, if you saw what happened for the previous 10 laps, that kind of makes sense. You know, just two guys that traded a lot of paint, a little hot under the collar, and unfortunately what's going to happen is it's going to cost one guy dearly, and somebody has to pay, and that was unfortunately a 5. Well, race off pit road. Everybody came down pit road this time. Not surprised about that at all. 7 retains the lead. Max Service comes out in second. We'll let the rest of this cycle through to kind of reset the order as they come off the pit lane. Alright, so let's reset it here real quickly. Dan Park is your leader, or will be. Troy Techmeyer sitting behind the pace car, but he's just going to get a lap back here via the wave around. Max Service will be second, Bo Brady third, Lane Doyle fourth, Kyle Johnson fifth. Like Robert Richardson will come back out of the pit lane sixth, followed by Daniel Bodler. And then Troy Techmeyer will get his lap back via the wave around here, and will be 8th, and he will be the last car on the lead lap. David Davis is 9th, 3 laps down. Joe Ruggles multiple laps down after earlier trouble remains in the event and runs in 10th place. So the field's doubling up. That means we've got a restart incoming, and it looks like Mr. Dan Park has chosen the outside lane here for this restart. Just the leader here on at Speed Racing Network events has lane choice, so the 7 takes the outside. I'll leave his teammate, the 81, there on the bottom with the inside lane. And the row bike behind him, Bo Brady, Lane Doyle. All right, time to finish it off here at Richmond. Dan Park's got the reins of the field, and we're back racing. 16 laps to go. Start for the 7. It's going to leave him 3 wide for second. Oh, physical off the corner. 47 gets squeezed in the wall by the 8, but everybody makes it through okay. 7 wants to see in his mirror some heated battling back here. Bo Brady not clear in second. Max Service will slot in third. Lane Doyle here in fourth, and here comes Kyle Johnson throwing his hat back in the ring. Remember, dominant early. Trying to work his way back up to the front, sits in 5th. And the 7 hold off the 8. Whoa, the 7's loose. This is the race right here. Let's say with the top 5, you have, oh, Lane Doyle's around. Caution's back out. See here if he lost that all on his own or had help. Take a look. Oh, just all by himself. We kind of saw that earlier in the race, remember? The 47 did something very similar early on, but he was able to kind of drift it through the corner and not make contact with anything. Not as lucky this time around. Take another look at it here. Yeah, he's just loose from the very beginning, chases it, and just finds the outside wall. And pretty decent fashion here. Have a little bit of damage on that, but gets it spun back around. Racetrack. There, if he had some more trouble, because that was going back live, and he was also waiting at the wall again. But like, yeah, what happened here? Just field pretty quick and back in line, so no problem there at all. Daniel Bodler, Robert Richardson, they're back on pit road, I'd presume for some damage repairs while they can get it. Troy Techmeyer was your lucky dog, so he's going to come back and rejoin the back of the field on the lead lap. I thought he would have got it last time, but now he officially will be. Thank you for joining us again this evening on Speed Racing Network. We greatly appreciate your viewership. Make sure you like and subscribe. Don't miss a second of the racing action we have to bring you. Only a handful of races left here in Season 8. Or to be exact, we got one more regular season race after this, and then we head to the 3-race chase. And then that's it. That's the end of the fall portion of Season 8. Move on to the springtime. See what we have planned for that. Alright, lights are off on the pace vehicle. That means we will go back to green this time by. 7 now chooses the inside lane, so he'll be in front of his teammate, Max Service, there on the bottom. And that will leave the teammates of Bo Brady and Kyle Johnson on the outside. We have a Park Brothers Racing JBR inside line. We have an Apache and FD50K outside line. We got some teammate strategy happening here. Alright, pace car back down to the safety of the pit lane. Dan Parks got the field in his hands. He went to the restart zone. We're back green. 9 laps to go here from Richmond. Eight gets the outside of the 7 there off of 2. He's going to drive it in hard. Gets a little door on him. Side by side for the lead. Don't think this is done being physical. Short track racing. Pay windows open. You got to get what you can here. Ooh, 8 gets a little loose, but so does the 7. Top 4 have now broken away a little bit as Bodler slips back. Big wrap at the bottom there by Dan Park. It's hard, set into turn 3. He's going to try to stay off the 8, running him up the track just a little bit, but that's clean. Oh, the 7's loose. Oh, he's still loose. Oh, he might spin it. No. Oh, yep, there he goes. Oh, and Bodler gets him. Caution's out. Man, ever since he got loose off of turn 4, it never looked like he gathered it back up. Heartbreak for the 7. And we thought after his win last week, his first SRM win, floodgates would open. And maybe that's proving to not be the case. Let's take a look. Yeah, there he is, just sideways over the brakes. Alder just gets him. Nothing really he could do there. Back to the battle here. So, actually, the fastest time he set of the race was that lap right there while they're battling. And you'll see that, you know, he'll get loose here off of 4 and just never able to really kind of regather. Loose, chasing, wiggling, still loose. Gets in the corner and it's gone. So, fortunate conclusion of the night there for the 7. He's on pit road. He's joined by Lane Doyle, Troy Techmeyer. They're all coming down here for service. Troy might have a set of tires left. That might be something to keep an eye on. Lane might be getting some damage fixed. Unsure about that. Obviously, the 7's going to repair a little bit of damage he sustained. So, with all that going on, Bo Brady is the leader. Max Service takes second. Kyle Johnson third, and hey, Daniel Bodler up to fourth. Robert Richardson in fifth. We got a little bit of some guys that we talked about early on kind of got shuffled back due to various strategy and incidents, and they find themselves back inside the top 5. And if you're inside the top 5 here at Richmond, you got a chance at winning it, I do believe. 8 cars still remain on the lead lap. All 10 cars that started the race continue to run. That's always impressive and good. I think we'll get the one to go this time, Buck. Yep, we get the one to go. Looks like Bo's going to take the bottom. So it'll be Team Apache cars in the 8 and the 88 on the inside. It'll be a Park Brothers Racing JBR kind of top row situation going on here. Then you got Robert Richardson in the mix, and then there's Troy Techmeyer in 7th, which I believe are 4 fresh tires. So you never know what old Troy might have up his sleeve here. All right. Well, it was physical. It's probably going to get more physical. And we're not done quite yet. Brady's got the field. Back in the restart zone. Green flag's back out. A green-white checker here from Richmond. Brady clears everybody, and he's got clean sailing out front. No pressure from behind. White flag. One more lap to go here from Richmond. Brady out front. Max Service in second. Here comes Bodler. Bodler to the inside. He's getting physical. Off turn 4, Bo Brady. When time came to pay, he came to play. Bo Brady wins at Richmond. Oh, we got some after the race curriculars here between the 6 and the 88. The 88 ended up taking second place, and that's cash. Oh, now we got more going on back here. Hey, it's short track racing. What do you expect? And Bo Brady. Team Apache number 8, Toyota gets it done. He's victorious at Richmond. Notches another victory in his SRN belt. His first of the season. He won the pole back on the 3rd race of the season at Chicagoland, but this is his first win in season 8. Well, victory celebration underway for the 8 of Bo Brady. We're going to talk to him here in just a second. Now we're going to let him load up into our broadcast waiting room. We'll grab him up here. We'll talk to him. All right, let's grab our winner and have a word. Joining us now in the booth, winner tonight at Richmond, Mr. Bo Brady. Talk to us about your evening and congrats on the victory here. Yeah, it seemed like early on this race was going to settle into a rhythm, kind of green flag style that we see Richmond take on sometimes, and then, of course, the short track tendencies take over and it turns into just absolute chaos. But it seemed like your car just kind of stayed steady through it. You were always kind of in the mix, but just trying to do your best to keep it clean. What was your strategy coming into the night, and how did it change over the course of the evening? Yeah, and tonight's win's important for a lot of reasons. Obviously, a win in SRN is always a good thing. Moves you 3 spots up in points, up to eighth, and the top 10 are the cut for the chase for the last 3 races. So you can go ahead and start planning ahead for that. The chase this year, the tracks we go to Charlotte, Dover, Homestead. What excites you about the rest of the season? All right, man. Well, congrats on your win tonight. Anybody you have to thank before we let you go back to your team? All right, man. Yep, we appreciate it. We'll see you next week. Driver the number 8 Team Apache machine, Bo Brady, victorious here tonight. Like we said, lost some 3 spots up in points, which gets him up to eighth, and that's in the top 10. That's important as we work our way down the stretch. Do not see Mr. Bodler around for his second place interview, so we will forego that. Uh, let's see if we can talk to third place here, Kyle Johnson. He's from the same team in Team Apache. Talk to him. That'll kind of conclude our evening. Finishing third place tonight, driver the number 88, teammate of the winner here tonight, Mr. Kyle Johnson. Good evening. Congrats on your podium finish. Talk to us about your evening.
I really didn't have much of a car. It's amazing how a little bit of damage, like a minute of damage in these Xfinity cars makes it like horrible, like just pushing tight. So, and proud of my teammate to finally get a win. So that was good too.
Yeah, man. Short track chaos. That's usually what happens around these parts. But we have plenty of good moments to pull for the broadcast. That's for sure. There was some hard racing out there all night.
I was thinking that right before you pulled me in. I was thinking that it was probably pretty fun to watch, and I did have it could be frustrating, but like fun at the same time. It's a little better when obviously you come away with a decent finish. I'm sure there's some guys that might not even have finished that are gonna say, they're not gonna be quite as happy, but we'll get past it. I'm willing, I'm gonna try to talk to some guys and see if we can't get things straightened out a little bit, and we'll see how that goes.
All right, man. Well, congrats on your third place finish rather tonight. Anybody you have to thank before we let you go?
Yeah, all you guys that put on the show and you guys up broadcasting it do such a good job, and we can you know, any of our family can watch it, and I like to go back and watch the races, so that's cool at the end. So I appreciate you guys doing that. So, and my teammates, Bo, Joe, and yeah, it was a fun race.
All right, man. We'll see you next week.
Later.
Driver the number 88, Kyle Johnson, third place finisher here tonight. Sorry you couldn't hear the beginning of that interview in the last one. We kind of messed that up. Anyway, we're going to conclude this evening before we jack more things up. Old technology loves to fail us at those times. But here's your finishing results. Bo Brady is victorious. Daniel Bodler comes home second. Kyle Johnson third. Max Service fourth. Lane Doyle fifth. Robert Richardson sixth. Dan Park seventh. Troy Techmeyer eighth. David Davis ninth. Joe Ruggles brings out the conclusion of the field in 10th. What an evening we had here at Richmond. We had a little bit of some physicality, we had some long run, we had some strategy, and in the end, Bo Brady is victorious. We heard from a few of the partners here at Speed Racing Network tonight at the beginning of the show with some of the commercials, but we'd like to thank them for their support. That includes Admin Box, Thermo Pro, Premier Racing Setups, Zozo's Miniatures, and iRacing. If you'd like to join Speed Racing Network in a sponsorship capacity, we'd love to have you. You can reach out to us at speedracingnetwork.com or any of our social media outlets. If you're interested in driving in Speed Racing Network, we would also love to have you. A little late to join in this fall season, but we'll have a spring season coming up shortly. You can go to speedracingnetwork.com for details when they do release, and also pay attention to all of our social media platforms for more information. Well, it was a great evening here at Richmond Raceway. Thank you for joining us. Plenty of action that you got to watch this evening. We'll be back next week. That's the last race of the regular season. It's 175 laps from Rockingham Speedway. Should be a thriller. Can't wait to see you then. On behalf of myself, Jonathan Barr, the president of Speed Racing Network, good evening. See you next week.